Three Corners is just your average small town, standing on the banks of a flood-prone river with a large pub anchoring the village at a once famous three-way intersection. Now it's simply convenient as people chase the country dream, the country lifestyle, just not the unceasing agricultural workload. Three Corners proudly supports a post office, a bakery, a cafe, a bookshop, a grocery store, gelateria, a few antique shops, and the usual high-end art and stylish home stores peddling the trend without the substance. Population 2,000-ish. But like all small towns, scratch the surface and you'll be surprised at what you find underneath. In that sense, Three Corners is really no different to any other small town I know. Except perhaps for some of the characters you might meet. At dawn. There were two shared hill hoist washing lines out the back of the apartment block. Barren trees in the middle of a neat green lawn, perpetually green even in drought, with two concrete paths leading from the shared brick laundry. Today, as he took the shortcut, he noticed that one of the lines was being used. It was right on dawn and a big day ahead, yet he paused, mesmerised by the fluttering of denia in the morning breeze. Soft, silky whispers that drew him in closer and tickled lightly as they caressed his hand, over and around, not quite touching, but being touched. The stocking was the same shade as his sun-tanned, calloused hands. Smooth and flawless, it caressed the scars, blisters, and danced lightly over the barbed wire cut, a jagged gash, new just yesterday, a fling back from fixing the fences in Mrs. Marsh's river paddock. The birds began their carolling as the light leached into the darkness, and in the distance, a semi roared out and down the main road. Breathing in deeply the fresh dew of morning with a hint of sweet laundry powder, he quickly snatched his hand back and returned it to his pocket, continuing through the yard and out onto the street without a backwards glance. But come lunchtime, as he hunkered down on a grey stump in the clearing, eating soggy ham and tomato sandwiches, he could feel again the feather touch, and it whispered deep and longingly that fluttering sensuality of nylon. With characteristic swiftness, he made the decision, crammed the last crust into his mouth and rose, brushing non-existent crumbs off his jeans. He'd have to go into the city to buy some. Too many questions would be asked if he brought them here. Today's episode of Three Corners was produced by our maestro, Postie, and featured the spotlight tones of me. For more stories, go to hittheroadjack.com.au or subscribe to the Three Corners podcast.